Hello everyone. In today's lecture, I'm going to explain you JavaScript events. So let's see. JavaScript, which is basically we use to add some interaction with our HTML and CSS portion with our users. Okay, so that is why we included JavaScript. But JavaScript also interacts with our HTML. Okay, and that interaction, that JavaScript interact with our HTML, which is handled through events that occur when a user or a browser manipulate a page. For example, if I am clicking on button, if I am mouse overing particular paragraph, particular event, or a particular image. Okay, so these are all the events, or I can say when browser manipulate a page. Okay, for example, browser is loading your document, so this is manipulation of your page by your browser. Okay, so these are the interaction that your JavaScript interact with your HTML during this time. So in this video session, I will cover some of few events which is frequently used while we are dealing with JavaScript. Okay, I will demonstrate you using program. So what kind of event? When page loads, that is an event. When the user click a button and that click too is an event. Another example of events like pressing any key, closing window, resizing window, these all are the different type of event. Okay, over here we have classified events. For example, mouse events, form events, button events. Okay, like that. Another key events. Okay, for example, if we are pressing arrow keys, like that. Okay, these are the examples of events. Developers can use these events to execute JavaScript coded response, which cause button to close windows, message to be displayed to users, and data to be validated, and virtually any other type of response imaginable can be occur using these events. We now in this session we are going to handle this event. For example, if this event occur, then I want this task to be performed, like that. Events are a part of a DOM, that is document object model, and every HTML element have a certain set of elements which can trigger JavaScript code. Okay, you can see my another video lecture related to DOM, that is document object model, if you are not familiar with this. Now let's see, first one is a onClick event type. Okay, which is most frequently used event when occurs when a user clicks mouse left button. You can put a validation, warning, or any kind of message against this event. Okay, so for example, this one is code. What is there is just one simple button. Okay, this is button with some parameters, and in script tag I have just handled this event. So let's see how can I do that. Okay, this one is my HTML page. Okay, and over here in body section, that is nothing at all, just a few basic code, that is HTML head, body, and title. Okay, let me change title. Now we are dealing with event in JavaScript. Okay, so the first thing is input, type is equals to button, value, let's say click me, with ID is equals to btn, that is our ID. Okay, now after that in script tag, because I am gonna write JavaScript code, what I have to do is first of all fetch this element, fetch this input button element. Okay, so to create object of element that you want, you just need to variable button is equals to, using document. Now over here we have mentioned ID attribute. Okay, that means I can get this element by using its ID. Okay, so how do you get this? Document dot get element B is capital, and this is a ID. This is camel case naming convention. Okay, and for what we are looking, ID is equals to button. Okay, so you just need to pass value of ID, that is btn, in double quotation. Okay, after that, this btn dot onClick, because it is button. Whenever there is events occur of onClick, button onClick, then there is one function that will be called whenever this particular event will occur. Okay, now how do we handle this event, onClick event? How do we handle this? We just put one alert message. You just clicked this button. Okay, simple. So what we have done, one input with certain attributes. Now you understand that how ID is important. Whenever you are fetching data or certain elements to handle with, okay, then you need ID attribute. That's why it is important to define ID of every element. After that, within script tag, document dot get element by ID, and just pass btn as an argument. Now after that, load that event, that is btn dot onClick is equals to functions, and put and in alert box you just need to send one message. Okay, save this, run this. Okay, we got our button. Okay, let me just click. Okay, you can say that you just click this button. If I refresh this page, okay, whenever I click this page, I will get this message. If I am clicking it, and I am getting this alert message. Okay, that is how this event works. Now let's see onmouseover and onmouseout events. These two event types will help you to create nice effect with image or even with text as well. Now, onmouseover event occur when you bring your mouse over any element, and the onmouseout occurs when you take your mouse from that particular element. Okay, now in this code snippet, there is one paragraph, and whenever I mouse over any this paragraph, then there is one function which is to be called, and if I on mouse out event when occur, then there is a function. Okay, now let's see this also. Okay, so I am just erase this. Okay, so let's start. There is one paragraph tag with ID is equals to, let's say, pad1. Okay, now in head section, let me put some, okay, style complete. Now I am assigning some CSS to this paragraph. Okay, so let's say height 150 pixel, width 200 pixel. After that, default background color, that is light blue, that is default. Okay, and font size, that is 30 pixel. For testing purpose, I am writing something over here. Save this, just refresh this page. Okay, Is it okay? Yes, okay, I am getting it. Now define script tag, write script tag. Within script tag, just variable is equals to document dot get element by id. And what is our id of paragraph? That is par, parameter 1. Okay, now after that, parameter 1 dot on mouse, you can see that list of events, that is on message, on mouse down, on mouse enter, on mouse leave, on mouse move, like this. Okay, so we are over here, we are covering two events, that is on mouse over is equals to function. After that, define whatever you want to perform when this event occur. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change its style. Okay, so parameter 1 dot style dot background color, but over here you need to specify it like that. Okay, is equals to background color, let's say #EE. This is one of the color. Okay, now let's see whether it is occurring or not. Save this, refresh this page. Okay, you can see that whenever I mouse over effect will occur, then its background color is changed. Now this code need certain corrections, that is parameter 1 dot inner HTML is equals to programming with parole. Okay, that's it. Now this event is set when there is on mouse over. Okay, so over here, let me just refresh this page. This is by default. Okay, this is by default. Now when this my mouse just over, then you can see this background color is changed. But when my mouse when my mouse out, okay, this event is occurring, then there is no any actions. So for that purpose we have to define it. Okay, so how do we define? Just like the previous one, you just need to dot on mouse out. Okay, this one is event, call for function, define that function. Okay, now over here we just and change it to say light green. Okay, and I'm just copy pasting it. Let's say welcomes you. Okay, save this, refresh this. You can see that programming with parole. Now this is when I enter I mouse over this. Okay, now if I out, you can see that welcomes you. Are you getting it? Okay, you can see that. So this is okay, programming with parole welcomes you. Get back to the track. So this is mouse over and mouse onmouseout. Okay, these two events that we have covered in our practical session. Now there are more than these two events which are frequently used, that is on click, on double click, on mouse down, on mouse move, on mouse over, out, and on mouse up. Okay, these are very important event. So this is assignment for you guys to handle this rest of the event by yourself. Okay, now there is another events, that is keyboard events. Okay, whenever whenever user is pressing a key, that is also event which is on key down. Okay, on key down. Now you can see that over here I have written attribute. This field name is attribute. Why it is attribute? Because you can see that over here this one is my object. If you have referred my video lecture of a DOM, document object model, then you can see that every HTML element is one object. Okay, one object, and whenever I call for this method, then it will return me one object. So for this object, this onmouseover is particular attribute, and this attribute is used to store response of particular function that we have defined to handle particular events. Okay, so this all events are a kind of attribute for particular HTML element. So over here for keyboard related events, there is attribute that is on key down, on key press, on key up. Okay, after that there is also events related to frame and objects, that is on abort, on error, on load, on resize, on scroll, on unload. Okay, so how can I for example among this I'm gonna show you this onload. Okay, onload, when this event will occur when a document, frame set, or object has been loaded. Okay, so how can you do that? Okay, very simple, and it also don't require much code to explain you. Why? Because whenever this page is being loaded, I will call one function script, because whatever you want to do you have to write in script tag. Okay, now document dot get element by ID. Okay, and what is ID of my body tag? That is body1. So body1. Okay, body1 is equals to body1 dot onload. Now you can see that there is some different syntax that I have applied to receive my HTML object. Okay, over here I haven't separately define a variable and get this output, get this object, but just simply document dot get element by ID and passed ID value of that particular HTML element, and simply after that using dot operator I have accessed attribute that is onload. Okay, is equals to function. Okay, and within this function type alert document is being loaded. Okay, now let's see this. This one is our document. You can see that this is our page, that is document is being loaded, and I have just called this function. Okay, so this is how you can access attribute of particular object without separately defining particular variable. Now after that, form events. Okay, whenever you are dealing with form and you are expecting that user is going to enter data, okay, and they have to just submit it. Now over there are also multiple kinds of events occur during form submission, okay. So what are that events? On blur, that means that event occurs when a form element loses its focus. On change, this event will occur when the content of a form element, the section or a checked state have changed, for example input, select or a text area, okay. After that, on focus, that means whenever your elements get focus, for example label, input, select, text area, button, like that. On reset, event occur when a form is reset. After that, on select, event occur when a user selects some text. On submit, whenever user submit this particular form, then that is also one event, okay, and we can handle this event also in our customized way. Now I'm going to show you this event, that is on focus event, okay. So let's start. Over here we don't need these, okay. So let me just take one input tag with type is equals to text, with id is equals to input 1, okay, simple. Name, okay. Now inside the script tag, the first thing is, okay, I am not using one variable, document dot get element by id, and what is id? That is input 1. Now dot, which event we are dealing with? On focus, okay. So on focus is equals to, we are defining function to handle this event, okay. So what I am going to do is okay, let me just put it variable input is equals to like that, and input dot on focus, okay. Input variable dot, we are going to change its style, okay, and I'm going to set its color is equals to red, okay. Save this, run. You can see that over here text color is red, okay, you can see that. So this is how you can define on focus event. Now go ahead. After that, reading values from text box, okay. Now here it is example where user have to enter one number, and this function will return you cubic number of that particular entered number, okay. Now let's see this in our example. Now over here, first of all let me change it, enter number, so user will enter number, type is equals to number, input 1, okay. Oops. Okay, after that let me define one button, okay, and with id is equals to btn button, calculate cube of calculate cube, okay, that's it. Now just see launch in Chrome, okay, 20. Now after that in script tag Okay, in script tag document.get element by id. Within script tag document.get element by id, and what is id of button? That is btn dot. Now we are looking for onClick event of button, so onClick, and whenever this event occur we are going to call one function. Okay, and let's define this function. So over here variable number is equals to, just copy paste this, because for find cube it is required that we have that particular number, so this dot value. Okay, and let me put just one alert to be sure that it's working. 20. Okay, so id, and we get our output. Now after that variable cube is equals to number multiplied by number. Okay, that's it. And after that what we need to do is we just document.get element by id, and first of all let me define one paragraph over here with id is equals to p1. So p1 dot inner html is equals to cube. So refresh, 20, calculate cube. You can see that we got our answer. So that is how you can read values from text box and apply appropriate and you can use to customize appropriate function whenever there is event occur. So there is I have gave some exercise for you. Just note it down and keep practicing of this particular session. Okay, if you have any question you can mention it in my comment section. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.